Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Brufio and I know two things about vocals that are for sure. One, they are the most important instrument in the song, and number two, to get them perfect is very difficult. But they have to be perfect, of course, because they are the most important thing in our song. So there's no rule, no magic rule that you can apply to get them perfect all the time, but there are some guidelines to get you like 90% there. Of course, there are some things, which genre is it? So do you want to have distorted vocals, or do you want them to be organic and stuff like that? But there are some guidelines you can apply and they will help you a lot. So I have like 5 steps that you can apply when mixing a vocal, and I will give you some audio examples as well, so you know exactly what I'm talking about and you can also apply it to your own vocal mixes. So one last point, those steps will only make sense in a bigger picture of mixing. If you are somewhere in your musical journey where you don't have all the knowledge yet, then go over to brufiomusic.com/vocals and you get my approach for free. It's called the perfect vocal mix. Okay, enough housekeeping. Let's dive into Cubase and I will show you exactly what the steps are. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so this is my vocal take. You can see it here. And what is more important than mixing, in my opinion, is the recording itself. So shit in, shit out is my approach. So if you have a shitty recording, you will have a difficult time make that professional. And if you have a good singer with the perfect feeling of the song recorded, man, that makes so much. And I think if you have a good recording, you are halfway there. So I don't talk about the microphone and the preamps and all that stuff, but just the feeling and the singer itself. If it fits the song, that is so important, so important. So I can't stress that enough. But now I will show you the second step. So you have a recording and this is what my vocal sounds like.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny.
Okay, so in the track it sounds like this.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. I can be the man I always wanted to be.
Okay, now I show you when I finished that vocal what it sounded like.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man I always wanted to be. Being with you makes me incomplete, yeah.
Alright, so pretty big difference here. Of course, you now only hear the pad underneath it. So in the full track, it's not that much louder than the pad and all that stuff. But that's the vocal sound I'm going for. So on the left here, you see my custom preset chain, which you can also buy at brufiomusic.com/shop. And this vocal preset is like a starting point for you. And then of course you have to tweak it. But how you tweak it and all that stuff, I will show you exactly in the package you buy. So I will go now and mix that vocal with stock Cubase plugins, so a lot easier for you to follow, I think. So the first thing we apply is EQ. So let's see what Steinberg has to offer here. So this is the studio EQ from Steinberg. So let's play the vocal again.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny.
So the first thing we want to do is cut out all the low end rumble, all the mud that you have in the vocal, because you have to imagine later in the track there are bass, kick and bass, and they are playing in the lower register here. So you want to avoid that your vocal clutters up the mix here, and to make it like more clearer, more clarity, more airy, it's not always just push up the high end. Sometimes it's cutting the lows. So let's do that here. We take a cut filter and then let's cut it to around 150. And what I do then is search the muddy frequency here in the low mids and cut that out as well. So let's see.
It's over for me. I can finally see.
That's what I call boxy, you know, muddy and boxy. So let's cut that a little bit out.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man I always wanted to be.
So the vocal gets a little bit thinner, but all in all, that's what we wanted to have in the mix. So if you have, like my voice is typically thin from the beginning on, so sometimes it also makes sense then here to boost a little bit. But all in all, I would say guideline is cut out the mud first. So let's see before and after.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny.
Do you hear how clearer that is? It's amazing. So this is without.
It's over for me.
And with.
I can finally see towards my destiny.
Okay, so that would be my first step. Cut out all the mud in the vocals. Okay, so the next step would be to make them more airy than they already are. So as I said, could be that you have to make like a high shelf here. Let's check this out.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man.
So this works in this case, but sometimes you can also just cut out some nasally frequencies that, like, my voice always tends to be more nasally. So let's check this out.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny.
Do you hear that?
And I can be the man I always wanted to be.
Make the cut a little narrow.
Being with you makes me incomplete. Yeah.
Again.
It's over for me.
Without.
I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man I always wanted to be. Being with you makes me incomplete. Yeah.
Now give it a high shelf.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man I always wanted to be.
So that's a night and day difference already just with EQ. Next step, compression. Because we used the EQ before, now all the unwanted stuff is not picked up by the compressor that much. That's why I'm EQing it before. Let's see the compressor that Steinberg has. Let's use the vintage compressor. So this is a Neve style compressor. So compression is what makes the vocal more even. So if you have some quiet stuff and some loud stuff, then the compressor evens that out so it's always the same level. When we have a look at the waveform here, you can see we have like, this is a bigger wafer, then it goes down and it goes up, then it goes down. So what we want to try to achieve is, like here, to have a more even vocal. The quiet parts get louder and the louder parts get quieter. So rule of thumb for vocals, in my opinion, is like a 4:1 ratio. So we click 4:1 ratio and let's see when we adjust the attack and release what happens.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man I always wanted to be. Being with you makes me incomplete. Yeah. It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man I always wanted to be. Being with you makes me incomplete. Yeah.
Okay, so now it gets more even, so it sits better in the mix. And what you can also do is slide compress with the first compressor, and then we use a second one, a tube compressor here, to like give it a little more. This is a compressor with more character, you know, with tube compression. Should be amazing. Let's see. And we can also play around. Let's see if we have like a preset here, male vocal 1. Let's check this out. Okay.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man I always wanted to be. Being with you makes me incomplete. Yeah. It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny.
And what you want to have is you want the needle to dance. For vocals, it should dance here because it should really sit in the mix. I just check out what I have here. The mix is 100%, and that's the next step we can do. We can parallel compress it. So let's compress the crap out of the vocal and then back the effect down here. Let's see.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny. And I can be the man I always wanted to be. Being with you makes me incomplete. Yeah.
So that's parallel compression. Just putting some amount of the compression in, but the compression itself is heavy. So we have a light compression and then a parallel compressor, giving it some tube saturation with some drive here. So that's really good. Let's see what we did so far.
It's over for me.
Without.
I can finally see towards my destiny.
With.
and I can be the man I always wanted to be.
So really cool stuff here. What you can also do before compression is like clip gain the stuff. For example, do this, make it a little bit louder, and we have a spike here. You can do a little bit quieter. So this is what compression also does, but if you clip gain first and then you compress, you get a more natural result. So then the final boss for me always is the sibilance. It's what I wrestle with the most in vocals. It's harshness, it's S's, it's plosives, it's all that stuff I don't want in a vocal, and therefore we have a de-esser. Let's see what Steinberg has. Okay, so we have a de-esser here. That's pretty cool. Let's see. As you can see, that's like an EQ, and here is typically like the sibilant area. So we want to find it and then deduct the S's when they come in a little bit. So it's like multi-band compression. Okay, let's see. This should be the typical S area for male vocals, around 4K.
It's over for me. I can finally see towards my destiny, and I can be the man I always wanted to be. Being with you makes me incomplete. Yeah.
Of course, I exaggerated it now, because when you do it too much, the singer gets a lisp because you deduct the S's so much that it lisps. And a cool feature to show you what you are deducting, because I don't know why it did not work here, but let's check this out. Let's use, when we put it here to sidechain with the waves one, so we only will hear the S's coming through. Do you see when I sing, I can finally see? This is crazy. Then you see it gets deducted here. So
I can finally see
with sidechain you hear only what gets deducted. So let's find the frequency where the S is the loudest. That's pretty much it, I think. I will show you another de-esser. It's the one from Iosis, which you get with the Slate Digital bundle. Let's try if we can get the lisp.
I can finally see towards my destiny, and I can be the man I always wanted to be. Being with you makes me incomplete.
Okay, now you hear that lisp. So look how much gain reduction you really want and then try it.
I can finally see towards my destiny, and I can be the man I always wanted to be.
So that's good. You always see when an S hits or when it deducts, it gets brown. So that's really cool. So de-essing, very important. Okay, the last point is about leveling the vocals. So once you even it out, it sounds great. You have to put it in the mix. And what you can do here is just back down the monitor volume on your mixing setup. Mix as quiet as possible and listen when the vocal sits exactly in the mix. You don't only hear the vocal, but it's also not buried in the mix. So I would go here and then put it down. And then you go on from there. So if you mix very quiet, you can hear that very, very nice. If you also want to have a special pro tip that I do to embed the vocals into the mix, I did a video and I will link that to the end screen of this video. So click on that if you like, and I will show it to you how to sidechain the vocal to the instrumentals, and then they deduct a little bit of space for the vocal. It's a great trick. I do it in every mix, almost every mix. Okay, so of course the next step would be to add time-based effects, but this is the most important thing now, to have a nice vocal sound. All the other stuff is of course mixing, choice and all this stuff, but this is like a guideline. We always have to go through EQ, compression, de-essing, leveling. That's the most important stuff for vocals. Okay, so the last point would be to just listen to music as a producer or a mix engineer, not as like the typical music listener like my wife, for example. She just listens to music and she will not hear, oh, the guitar is too loud here. Of course, sometimes she says, wow, the vocal is so loud, but listen to your favorite mixes, how they sound, what's the specific vocal sound, how much compression is there, how are they EQ'd, how much reverb is there, how much delay, is it automated, because automation is also an amazing thing to do. Like the clip gain stuff I showed you, put manually parts up and down, is like automation, of course. But listen to music and you will learn a lot. Okay guys, that's it for today. If that helped you, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and go to brufiumusic.com/vocals to get my perfect vocal mixing guide for free. And if that helps you, that's amazing. Leave a comment if so, and let me always know if you have some feedback. As I said, I also have vocal presets in my store to help you kickstart your vocal if you like that. Free ebooks, all that stuff, drum samples, so check my website out, and we see us in the next video. Peace out.